नमस्कार। आप सभी लोग अपने अपने घरों पर सकुशल होंगे तथा इस कोविड-19 से बचने के उपायों में लगे होंगे। So students, as we have already talked about the anatomy of the dicotyledons and monocotyledons plants, in which we have talked in our previous lecture about the dicot leaf and the monocot leaf and their anatomical structures and their functions. Let's move to another topic that we have to talk about the anatomy of the dicotyledons and monocotyledons root. Suppose we can talk the tissue organizations of the root system and the leaves can be studied by different ways. Means by the if we can get the transverse sections of these things, we can able to easily understand about their structures and their so on different parts which are found over there. If we talk about details, so you can just see all the headings which are necessary for the monocot root study. We can say the monocot root, generally if you can see the diagrams of this monocot root over there, generally you can see the such diagram TS of that structure, and this is the complete descriptions of that particular diagrams. Especially we can talk about the epidermis, right, cortex, endodermis, steel, and the different parts of the steel one. If we can talk about the especially the different parts of that steel, maybe they can be classified from over there, means from there to all those parts up to the pith one, right. Means directly we can say all these parts are the connected to the pericycle, vascular strands, protoxylem, metaxylem, pith, so on. They all are comes in the category of that scale one, right. So we have to know about all these things in the details. As you can just see in the structures of this root, monocot root. If we talk about the monocot roots, first part, that is the epidermis, means the outermost, right. You can understand about this one, especially this epidermis. We can say it is the outermost thin walled compactly arranged layer of the cells, and the cells give rise to root hairs. You can see these are the root hairs are found over there, means generally this is the epidermis which can you can find over there. This portion is epidermis, right, and completely arranged with the completely packed structure with that one, and they can also give rise to development of just some root like hairs like structure over there. They are known as root hairs over there, right. We can say these root hairs are unicellular and lie in the contact with the soil water, while the generally root can be goes into the soil and it can be always contact in the water of the soil which is present in the soil. And we can say the both epidermis of the root hairs and divider of the cuticles, means they are generally capable have the cuticle over there, and these help in absorption of the water and the minerals in older parts the epidermis shelter to improve it. Means these plants, these root hairs can always help for that they can capable to absorb the water and the minerals from the those soils one. Then there is another part that is called cortex. As you can see, especially this is the cortex or this is the cortex one. These structures, that is we can say it is region of the cortex. So we can say if we talk about the cortex, it is the broader zone of the parenchymal cells, and these cells are thin walled and enclosed intercellular spaces. They normally store food. The cortex provides for radial movement of the water and minerals from the epilema to the root interior. Means they can be always helpful for the development of that such structures in that particular conditions. Or we can say they have another part that is called the endodermis. So you must understand about this endodermis part. Means these parts are the endodermis over there, right. So this is the endodermis one, and this endodermis we can say that this can be always a single layer which can be made up of the barrel shaped cells which are do not have enclosures and which do not have any intracellular spaces between them. the young endodermal cells are always an internal strip of the suberin and lining. This suberin and lining are the substances which can be always help them to packed tightly over there, right? Which is known as Caspase strip. Means this, whenever this endodermis is packed without any cellular space with the help of the suberin and lining, right? So that structure or that strip is known as Caspase strips. If we can say, the endodermal cells lying opposite to the protoxylem groups, however, we can say the remains in the primary stages with the usual Caspase strips, or we can say these unthickened cells are called passages. As you can just again seen over there, means especially in there is a passage of cells. This one, especially these cells are unthickened, means they are not tightly packed with the help of the suberin and the lining one. So we can say these cells always helpful for the conduction of the fluid and minerals from the cortex into xylem. Means these can be always, this passage cell can be always, these cells can be always helpful for the supplying of the minerals and the waters from the cortex region. Means generally this cortex region, right? From here it can be helpful to pass the from there to cortex into the xylem structures. If we talk about the another part of this structure, that is we can say steel, right? Or this steel is generally a part which can shows that all tissue inside the endodermis, it may be pericycle, right? It may be vascular bundles of pith and stele, right? Stele. So this stele can different classifications. We can directly come from the pericycle. Generally, this pericycle is from the outer boundary of stele, and pericycle may be uniseriate or a single layer or multi-layer, maybe in different plants which can be found in different ways. So we can say the pericycle does not form the cambium, especially sometimes we can say this pericycle can help for the formation of cambium, but not in the case of the monocot root. This pericycle does not help to formation of the cambium, and it is only produces the lateral roots, and the pericycle is composed of a thin walled parenchymatous cells in the young roots, and later it becomes the thickened walled many monocot root one. And after that we have to talk about the vascular strands. Vascular strands, especially you can say the vascular strands is in the formation of the alternate radial xylem and phloem bundles. Means alternative of the radial xylem bundles. The vascular bundles are arranged in the formation of a ring around the central pith, as you can see in the diagrams, right? You can see these vascular bundles can always forms in the ring formations like this over inside this. This is the phloem and xylem one, right? So around the center of the pith, and you know that this region, this vertex region is known as the pith region, right? So these can be always helpful. Evenly we can say the xylem bundles are exarchs and protoxylem lies towards the outside while the metaxylem faces inwards. So as I have already told you, where you can talk about the this exarch and enlarged conditions, especially in the monocot root, the vascular bundles are generally, in case of they are the exarch condition, means xylem are the bundle of xylem are exarch. Especially you can say the protoxylem is lies towards, right, lies towards the outside while the metaxylem is faced inwards. Means metaxylem is inside one and protoxylem is over there, means in this opposite one, right? So this condition is known as the exarch, right? Due to this, the pressure of numerous xylem bundles and exarch conditions, the xylem monocot root is polyarch. इस कंडीशन की वजह से क्या होता है, जो प्रेशर में इंक्रीजिंग या डिक्रीजिंग रहती है, तो जिस वजह से इस कंडीशन को, राइट, जो xylem बंडल्स होते हैं और जो एक्सार्च कंडीशंस होती है, of the xylem is of the monocot root is known as polyarch. Means in that particular condition we can say these conditions as the polyarch, or we can say the protoxylem vessels are narrow while the metaxylem vessels are broader one. Especially we talk about these components. So in that particular condition, the xylem provides the mechanical strength and the help in the conduction of the water and the minerals and the salts in the root or from the soil to roots to the plants. Evenly we can say the phloem and xylem are separately from each other by the means of narrow strip, that is conjunctive tissues, and the phloem cells store food and if the parenchymatous, if right, and they provide the mechanical strength on the becoming sclerified, and they are involved in the formation of the cambium, right. Evenly if we talk about the pith one, that pith, it is a large and a well developed. It is a large and made up of the parenchymatous cells with the intracellular spaces. These cells contain starch one. Evenly, we can talk that what are different identification features of the monocotyledonous root. So there is a monocotyledonous root can be easily identified with the help of the following features. Means if we want to find the monocotyledonous root, generally the presence of root hairs, right, and the endodermis with the passage cells, as I have told you that these passage cells can allow the absorption of the different minerals and the water one, and the presence of the pith and the radial bundles are more than 8, and the xylem are always exarch in the conditions, and presence of the endodermis over there in this plant. So we can understand about this one. Same way we have to also talk about the dicot root one. Means that dicot root that can be also show some specific structures in that particular conditions, right. So they can also have a different structures over there. Means if we can talk about the dicot root over there, you can just find the such structures that in the same way the root hairs, epidermis and the cortex, this the whole region is cortex, endodermis, pericycle and the protoxylem and so on, right. So and the metaxylem and the pith and the phloem one, clearly, and the xylem is also present over there. As you can see, the protoxylem and the metaxylem, they represented to the that particular conditions. So these are different sequences. If you can understand easily over there, right, you can just see in the diagram that root hairs are these one, epidermis, cortex, endodermis. Then after the endodermis there is a metaxylem and protoxylem. Means you can just see that these metaxylems are where they are situated. They are the metaxylems over inside here, right. Means these are the metaxylems and these are the protoxylem. Means the structure of this xylem is again become the exarch, because as I have already told you, in the case of the exarch, the metaxylem is toward the center, toward near to the pith, and on the other hand the protoxylem at the peripheral regions, right, and inside that there are some other parts are found over there. So let's begin to start about these topics under which conditions, especially there is a correction in there. You can just see there are other different parts. It may be epidermis, then not cortex, it is cortex, right. This is cortex over there. So this can be found, and the endodermis stele with the pericycle vascular stents and pith one in same characters of as we have already learned in the previous one. So we can again talk about this epidermis of the dicot root. So if we talk about the epidermis, especially this epidermis is the outermost layer in young roots. It is the equivalent to the epidermis of the stem as well as, and we can say the stomata and the cuticle are not present in this epidermis, and the cells are thin walled and tubular also of the epidermis. Evenly you can say epidermis cells are prologued to the form the thin walled tubular structure that is called root hair. Means this dicot root can be also form a swelling structure over there. They can converted into the root hairs. If we talk about the cells which can produce root hairs are called root hairs cells or trichoblast. You must know that means the cells which can be always helpful for the development of the root hairs, they may be called the root hair cells or the trichoblast, or we can say due to the presence of the root hairs, these are also known as the pelliferous layers, or we can say rhizodermis, right? Such structures and root hair are have pectose layer on the outside, which is to help them to pass into the soil spaces and absorption of the water and minerals salts. And we can say the active lifespan of root hairs is up to 7 days generally. Means these root hairs are have the pectose layers on the outside, and which can always help them to pass the soil spaces from absorption of the water and mineral salts. And the active lifespan of these root hairs are generally 7 days and die off in the older part of the root. The cells of the older epidermis shrivel afterwards and they become cutinized and suberized. Then after that there is a cortex region. Cortex again, it is just beneath, or you can say just below of the epidermis or epilema. This cortex region you can just see as in the diagram, it is always just beneath of the this epiderma or epilema, which is generally found over the epilema over there, right? Epilema, as I have told you in previous topic. Okay, so it consists of the several layers of the thin walled parenchymatous cells, which can be conspicuous intercellular spaces with a very little amount of spaces, or we can say the cells are cortex stores food. It also conduct the water from the epilema to the inner tissue. Means these cortex can be generally these roots can capable to absorb, after it can pass it into the epilema, and after that these cortex cells can be capable to absorb and provide the water to the inner tissue inside one. After that there is another layer that is called the endodermis, as you can see in the diagram over there, right? This endodermis can always have to have the single layer of the barrel shaped cells without any intercellular space. Means this endodermis does not have any intercellular spaces, right? And we can say that the endodermal cells are living and are rich in starch grains especially, and they have a characteristic bands thickening along with the radial and tangential walls. These are called the Caspian bands or the Caspian strips over there, as I told you in this monocot root also. Means they are also Caspian strips are also present in this one. So these Caspian strips can made up of the sovereign and leading, as I told you. If they are tightly packed, so there is no chance to be just intercellular spaces, and these strips prevent the plasmolysis of endodermal cells. Means because of this sovereign and leading, these Casparian strips cannot allow the water to go inside. It means that their endodermal cells cannot show the plasmolysis process over there. So we can say they do not allow wall to wall movement of the substances between the cortex and the pericycle. Means this, because of this endodermis or Casparian system, they do not allow to pass any substance from the wall to wall directly from the cortex region to the pericycle region. Then we have to talk about the stele. Stele again I have told you that the inner side endodermis such as pericycle, vascular stents and pith constitute the stele. Right? Means all these things, means the pericycle, vascular stents and the pith, they constitute in a single way, they are known as the stele. So on the basis of this stele, we have to know about all these things. So first of all, we have to talk about the pericycle. Means next of the endodermis lies a layer thick walled parenchymatous cells referred to the pericycle, that is initiations of the lateral roots and vascular cambiums. During the secondary growth take place in these cells over there. So we can say, especially in that such conditions, these strips can be found over there. Means pericycle layer is found over there in that particular conditions. Or we can say the pericycles, especially if we talk about the pericycle, they can be also helpful for the secondary growth can take place in their cells. And if we talk about the vascular stents, means again the vascular stents consist separate bundles of the xylem and phloem arrangement, as you can see in the diagrams. Means the arrangement of the vascular bundles, these are the arrangement of the vascular bundles, right over there. Means in that particular diagram you can just see these are the phloem and these are the xylem and such characters. So we can say in that particular conditions, the xylem and phloem, they can be arranged alternately in the pericycle. You can just see these are the xylem, these are the phloem, these are the xylem, phloem, xylem, phloem, xylem and phloem. Means this P is the phloem and this X is the xylem. So alternately they are the arranged into the pericycle or into the, you can say, in that inner region of the pericycle. Hence we can say xylem and phloem are bundles are equal in numbers. You must know that the xylem and phloem numbers in the dicot root are always equal, right? And they lies on the different radii. Means you can say the radii, if we talk about the radii, generally they are lies in such radii, they are lies in such radii. So they can be found in different radii. Equal number, different radii, right? And we can say the vascular bundles are called radial bundles due to these structures, right? And on the basis of the number of xylem bundles, the root may be diarch. Means if there is a xylem bundles are 2, then we can say they are known as diarch. If there are 3 triarch, 4 tetrarch, 5 pentarch, and if more than 5, we can say they are known as polyarch. Means as in previous in the vascular stents of the monocot, in which we have talked about, they are the exarch one, and when on the xylem monocot root, they can be always known as the polyarch. But in here we can say that these are on the basis of the number of xylems, 2 diarch, 3 triarch, 4 tetrarch, 5 pentarch, or if more than 5, then they are known as the pentarch, right? So we can say, and the same thing again came here when the protoxylem is toward the peripheral and later form the xylem, means then metaxylem toward the center of the root. So we can say they are again known as the exarch in their characteristics of root. Means when the protoxylem is outside or peripheral region and metaxylem in the center towards the pith region, so that condition is known as the exarch in that particular conditions, right? And we can say the phloem and xylem bundles are separated from each other by one or more layers of small thin walled cells, that is called conjunctive tissues. And in the later we can say the meristematic formation of vascular cambiums, the phloem tissues conduct organic food from the leaf to the other parts of the plants. The secondary growth occurs in the dicot root 1. Even we can say in the center region, there is a pith region is also found over there. It is generally absent in the dicot root, right? Means as the pith is generally absent in the dicot root, and it represents a small consisting of the parenchymatous cells and the function as store of the food and region. Means you can just see, especially in this particular region, it may be just very conspicuous over there in that particular condition. So again summarize that on the basis of these structures, there are some identical features of this dicot root are, we can say, the presence of root hairs, endodermis with the Casparian strips, absence of pith, radial bundles less than 8, and the presence of the exarch xylem, right? So these are the different characters of this one. Sometimes you can just see the differentiate between the dicot root and monocot root, in which you can easily understand. As you can simply, we can just talk about such structures. In monocot root, the pith is well developed and large one, but in the dicot it is a smaller one, right? In if we talk about the xylem bundles, the few xylem bundles are in dicot and more xylem bundles are found into the monocot. And if we talk about the number secondary growth, mean no secondary growth can be found in the monocot root, but secondary growth occurs in the dicot root. And conjunctive tissues are mostly sclerenchymatous, but conjunctive tissues are especially parenchymatous in the such regions. So I think everybody would understand about the topic of this dicot and monocot root in detail. So students, be prepare your notes. Thank you.